Welcome to the Get Real Sisters podcast. We're sisters, each other's biggest supporter and confidant. We keep it real with each other, just like we're going to keep it real with you, with discussions about life, the good, the bad, and in between. We're here to grow and get real. So don't forget to subscribe and share. Let's go. What's going on? It's been a minute.
A little hot second. Hoping that all the holidays were amazing and the new year's off to an incredible start. We are back. Get Real Sisters are here. We know you missed us.
You definitely did. We definitely took some time for the holidays, and then time got away from us, as life can do. But we're so excited to be back with all of you, and we actually have a whole lineup for the whole year. So we're happy to be starting to share some updates with you as far as when we're going to be delivering our podcast to you or be going live with you, before we get into this month's topic. So first and foremost, if you guys don't already, make sure you're following us on both this YouTube channel and our Instagram page for any updates, as well as insider look on me and Jasmine, our lifestyle, anything that we'd like to share related to the month topic or not. We have a bunch of different things coming this way this year, including posting at least the schedule of when we will be putting our recorded episodes as well as going live, so you guys don't need to do the math every calendar month. Although we will be going live the first week and the third week of the month, we're switching it to Thursday instead of Wednesdays. It just works out a little bit better for our schedules. So hope to still see you guys there, still continue to show your support. And like I said, make sure you're following us on our social media pages so that we can let you know when we're going to be going live or posting our videos.
Mm-hmm. Thursday, thoughtful Thursday, thirsty Thursday, whatever works for you. It works for us.
I like thoughtful Thursdays.
Yes, thoughtful Thursday related to, communicating correctly throughout the week and having thought and intention when you are doing all those things. But I know we're already in February, first week of February. Whoa, year I feel like is already flying. I'm like, golly, where did January go? So as you mentioned, a little behind the eight ball, but I think it would be cool, a quick little reflection or not, maybe not even reflection, but just like where we're at, what's been on and popping thus far, with some, new news. So
Yeah.
hit us off. What you got going on your side?
I don't know about new news, but like every January 1st, everybody starts putting in New Year's resolutions. I like to say now these days, instead of New Year, new me, New Year, better me, because I don't necessarily want to change everything, but I do see where things could be better. So some of my goals related to the relationships I have and communication. I really want to get back into doing like regular mom and daughter dates with Layla. I want to regularly schedule date nights. I think Tidy, my husband, he's great at making sure we have time. It's just not on like a specific schedule. I think it might just be easier if it was scheduled so we know when to prepare for it, when to get the babysitters ready, all that kind of stuff. And then we can still obviously still like sprinkle the random times in there too. And then one of my other personal goals as far as communication is I'm trying to relearn, relearn and expand my learning in Spanish. So
Okay.
that's just like a personal goal for myself because I really love the language. I see a lot of benefits as far as knowing multiple languages. I mean, I honestly should throw Creole in there, my actual background, but I just have already some knowledge in Spanish during my schooling. And so yeah, that's me. What about you?
Dope. So much going on. Some positives, some opportunities, which is always great. Keeps me on my toes to continue to grow. Didn't even mean for that to rhyme, but bars, thank you. Um, so kicking off the year, as far as like not necessarily related to communication, just things that are going on. I just bought a car. Super amazing. I've been out here for a little over a year, and I came out here with the intention of like, absolutely not. I don't need a car. Work remotely. I'm good. And it just got to the point where I'm like, okay, no, definitely do. Um, Doing that, been heavily this year alone. I entered in, and very similar to you, is I don't actually do quote unquote, new year, new me. Also, I think I don't want to say like reset is in September instead of January, but um
Yeah.
I
I
entered
kind of
this
feel
year.
like that too, though. Like school
Yeah,
kids go back to school. I feel like
right,
I'm better on a schedule when they're in school. So
right. Um, I am I entered this year really, really focused, and my goals here is to get back on my like health, like mentally, emotionally, physically, really heavy on that like mentally and emotionally part. I used to be really good. And I feel like this past year, with growth of just learning more about myself, the way I communicate, it really shines some light on the opportunity. So I am going to go back into therapy. I actually, officially made outreach, set up an appointment. I'm super excited about that.
mhm.
Um, and again, although I would like to say I'm fairly good with communication, as we all do, we have that opportunity. And more recently, I've found myself in a space of, the word isn't like losing my identity, but losing purpose. And it has a lot to do, truthfully, with work, and really struggling in that element. And it's rolling over into my personal life. So, um, listening a little bit more to podcasts that really will help me, shift my mindset, because that's really, really what it is. Um, but therapy is going to be huge, 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 huge play. So I'm really focused on that. Very similar to what you were talking about as far as like setting up dates. We were doing that for a while consistently, but so not only with my spouse and having that time, because life can really get the best of you.
Spouse.
Huh?
You said spouse.
I can't stand you.
Mhm.
Um, my relationships, my spousey, um, life can really get away from us, and just doing the day to day, we're exhausted and blah, blah, blah. But besides that, getting back to dates for myself, um,
Hmm.
I really used to get after it with them. Um, Folks are like, Jasmine, no way you're literally sitting at the bar by yourself. And I'm like,
Why
girl,
not? Why
try that
not?
out. Like, such a vibe. I'm huge on coffee shops, so I'm super excited to kind of get back into that, of setting time to get into new coffee shops, explore that. But like spa days, just, and it doesn't even have to be something like walking, like getting in the city and just exploring, like getting back to that. So those are my top few things
Yeah.
about goals for this year.
I really love that because I feel like you're showing love to yourself while also trying to show love to the person that you are, in a relationship with. Um, so I think that's kind of a perfect segue into our actual topic for the month. So we all know what holiday runs in February. And also just want to shout out happy first
I'm
day
kidding.
of Black History Month. First of all, let's back up real quick. We are gonna probably sprinkle some things mostly on our Instagram page related to Black History Month, but what we wanted to focus on is that day all day, the 14th, where everybody
Um,
loses their mind. And I've already been seeing like certain TikToks where it's like a joke, but people that are like married or in a relationship pretending they're getting upset because their significant other isn't asking them to be their Valentine or whatever.
yes.
Um, and I definitely know that Tidy can agree that the holiday is super played out. Like I get the purpose, it's cute, and I'm not gonna lie, I do like to receive like little small thing or something. But what I appreciate, what I mentioned a little bit earlier, is Tidy already throughout the year, not just this one random day, make sure that he shows love.
Mm.
And I think that people get so caught up in these major holidays that they forget it the rest of the year. They're like just going about their business. They're maybe even acting as if they're not in a relationship until this time of year. And I really don't see where we're getting the benefit out of focusing so much on the materialistic idea about this made up holiday.
No doubt. I definitely agree. I've always been so against Valentine's Day. And I think a part of it is, you know me, I like to just be against the odds, and whatever everybody else likes, I don't want to. But
Mhm.
beside, also second is, I was single for so long. I was always just so annoyed seeing all the posts and all that stuff of like, yeah, right. You know, y'all ain't even really happy. Y'all just doing it for the gram or whatever the case may be. But even, shifting and now in my space, I still can't stand it. And I don't want to say I can't stand it. Is one is because I feel like the holiday itself, right? It does focus on relationship, like being in a relationship. What about those folks that aren't in a relationship, right? Like I felt like that, it outcasts those people when in reality, if you wanted to pick, the 14th as a day that for love, why are we not promoting spreading love? Like as a unit instead of just like to
True.
one individual person. And as you mentioned, like being able to show love throughout the entire year speaks levels of, your relationship and where it will go instead of that just that one day. I could see maybe the folks that love languages receiving gifts might really thrive in this kind of environment. But I
Yeah.
think there should be a balance of,
And you can give gifts if that's really the case. You can
yeah,
give gifts on any other day of the year too.
true.
So it doesn't have to be so focused. And, you know, I like the point that you said that it seems like it's primarily based for people that are in romantic relationships. But something that I always really liked that we didn't like as we got older, and especially once we moved in with dad, I feel like it was less. Mom used to always get us stuff, even on
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. She was really good about making sure that even if, obviously as young kids, we weren't in nobody's relationship or whatever, but she was showing her love to her loved ones. So I think that although primarily it's for people in romantic relationships, I do recognize the people that just love the holiday because it promotes love and then they show it to whomever um is around them. And we have some really, I feel like, excellent people in our life that are really great at showing love, not just on holidays, but
Mm.
all year round at random moments, just when they're thinking of you. And, maybe that's a hint, hint, wink, wink, for things coming up. But it's, I think, I think people just struggle when they don't have a focus. Like
Mhm.
holidays sometimes create that focus. Okay, like I have so many things going on in my life. I have my career, I have my side job, I have, my dogs and my kids. Like the love piece and showing your care sometimes takes a back burner to just the everyday, the tasks that we have to do versus taking a moment. Okay, like even if I did need to schedule it, quote unquote, um, where can I find pockets of time where I am literally just showing my appreciation, just spending time with someone, instead of worrying about the daily task of what I need to get accomplished today to feel successful, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. I while you were, talking, a question for what does showing love look like for you? Like you are the one showing love. What does that look like?
Usually it means feeding people for me. I
Y'all love that. Come on.
I brought that up a couple of times. I just think like that if it was a real love language, that's my love language because I love to eat personally. So if you feed me, I feel loved. And then me feeding you is a way that, you know, I feel like I'm filling you with something that's comforting. I'm filling you with something that I made out of the love in my heart, like that kind of stuff. Um, Love also, I think, can look for me, showing love is maybe doing something that I don't necessarily want to do, but I know you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like Layla. She likes to go shopping, and besides grocery shopping, I hate it. Um, so I'm trying to be better about it because I do feel like I turn her down sometimes because I know she's just one of those people that likes to go in stores and just browse for no reason. And I'm just completely not like that. I'm like, I got a mission, I got to get out of here, kind of thing. Um, so I would say that would be an example of doing something for someone else, even if you don't technically enjoy it, but seeing their happiness
Yeah,
pulls it full circle.
I love that. That
What about you?
I it's so funny because I feel like I have a mixed bag of what it looks like from me. But if I'm the one giving love, the first thing that I think of is listening. Um,
Mhm.
and actually like we've talked about like just that uninterrupted and just hearing you. Um, not maybe not necessarily responding or well, I should respond.
I was just thinking that, like, I know what you mean, but like not listening to respond,
Right.
listening just to hear what they have to say. Yeah.
Absolutely. So definitely that, the listening piece, and then actually like contrary of that, of like verbally letting someone know, like I love you, like I
Mhm.
love you. The word, words of affirmation, like encouraging them in whatever it is. You're crushing it. I see you putting in the effort. It means a lot, or whatever that whatever it may be, but like actually saying it out loud, because sometimes I feel like there's that assumption as well that like, "Oh, yeah, like, I know they love
Yeah.
me, but yet I don't."
Honestly, I'm bad. I'm bad at
Mhm.
doing that. Like I do say it, but you guys, let me know if anybody can relate to this, and Jasmine, you too. I'm so sorry, I'm like still sick. Um, I've been trying to hold it. Um, do you ever like you love certain people, but at a certain age, you stop saying it as often? Like thinking, talking with you, like I feel like noticed that I say I love you to Kingston a lot more than I probably say it to Layla, if I'm being real.
Mm,
And it's not about I love him more, but I
right,
think at a certain age, it becomes less and less when you show love to people or say I love you. Like just say the words. Like I say it to Tidy. Um, I do say it to Layla, but I feel like for both of them, I don't say it as often to maybe someone younger. And I don't know if that's more so, they're in that super cute and cuddly stage or something, or if it's more so you feel like the younger generation needs to hear it more often because you're trying to like build them up in some kind of way. But why does that mean that the older people don't need that same thing as consistently?
right, and if anything, I feel like they need it more.
Right. Which
Mm,
is weird. So I don't know if
yeah.
any of you can like relate to that or put your thought to that if you notice that's something that either you do or someone else does, but that just kind of
Yeah.
occurred to me
Definitely let it,
recently.
hit us in the DMs in the thread because I would love to know. For me, I was just trying to think too, like across the board, and actually to say, I know you and I are getting a little bit better, but and we've talked about this, like, and I think people might be shocked to hear this, but like very rare growing up did Shanice and I, say I love you to each other. And obvious like out of the whole entire world, of course, beyond like my parents and stuff like that, like I know that girl really loves me. But yet saying it, like literally words coming out of our mouths, like not a thing.
Yeah. It's honestly still sometimes a little
Yeah,
awkward saying it
I agree.
because we're not used to it. Like as little kids, we did it a lot. And again, shout out to our mom because she made us most of the time. Um, we all know I'm not a touchy feely person either. So it was like as we got older, it was less and less I love you and less like give me a hug or something like that from
Yeah.
me at least because I'm weird. But yeah, I think it's just strange that it seems like once you're older, it's harder to say something that you do actually mean or you do actually feel on a
Mhm.
daily basis. Like you said, that feeling definitely is super strong and definitely couldn't be more true, but you just don't say
Yeah.
it until you need to, until there's something bad usually that happens, and then you're like, you're at a funeral and you're telling everybody you love them, but why aren't you telling people you love them before it's getting to those experiences?
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I do, because I agree. The majority, or at least from my experience, the majority it's like that. But I also know a good handful of folks that just are out here just love you, love you, love you. And I'm like, wait a minute, because I'm not someone also clearly that I just say it loosely. I'm not
Right.
telling
Don't be out here
everyone
all
I love you.
willy-nilly saying you love
Right. I'm
everybody.
like, mm-mm. And sometimes not so I should say in the past, I would feel bad that someone would be like, I love you, and then I'd just be staring at them because and I'm not one to just say it back because you said it. I'm like,
Mhm.
all right, or I'm changing the subject, moving forward. And that really, yes, you like, and so to clear up the air, has it happened with some family members? Sure, but I'm really talking on like associates,
Mhm.
not even friends, like coworkers in passing. They're just like out here loosely, and I'm like, yeah, no, 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 like I don't love you. That's not a thing. And sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, no, no, no. Like again, when I say it, I genuinely mean it, and I think you're just saying it to say it. Like, do you know what I think too, because like just me, like when I hear I love you, it literally does something to me, like internally.
Mhm.
I think butterfly every time. Like I feel like I get these like butterflies in my stomach of like, wow, it feels so good because I know it's coming from a place of love,
Mhm.
and then so when I hear other people just doing it, I'm like, you're fake, bro. Like,
Right. And
like
you can feel it not being genuine,
yeah,
so it makes it harder, even if your relationship did strengthen as it goes. Okay, like, do you actually mean it now? Like, when did you start meaning it? Because
right.
you was already starting off on
Right.
the wrong foot.
Right, right.
But,
You? I'm like, okay, thanks. Um, but again, yeah, I think it is super important to share that, to say it. Um, I feel like I was getting ready to contradict or just, I guess, ask another question because talking about like saying I love you or showing that you do love someone. Um, I have been feeling and, just struggle again, part of my struggle of just working through of I know I am loved. No questions asked. Like I know that. But in moments where I am like going through, work challenges, life challenges, and of course, just in that space of being alone, at times I'm like, am I? Like, do they actually care? What does that like what does that mean to them? What does that look like in the reverse? Where I'm going, because that was long-winded to say, is I think sometimes people make the assumption for people that are a little bit more positive or just like for exact example for me, like I'm always smiling. It has happened to at the gym yesterday. I walk in and good morning. And like that is I do naturally have like a high of energy in pockets in the morning. And so the girl was like, "Oh my God, Jasmine, like you just so happy and positive. I love it." It's just because every morning I say good morning. How this is related is that I feel like sometimes because people view me as being super positive or like has my shit together, which I don't all the time, um, I feel like people don't follow up or check in or
mm,
because Jazz got it. And I
yeah.
see it in my personal life, but also work too, where they're like, we don't even need to worry. And I've gotten that on feedback. Like, we don't need to worry about you. I'm like, the heck you do? No, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a
No, that's
compliment, but
real though.
also it hurts in some parts of it. Of
Mm,
like, I do need love. I do need love and attention too, even though I might show or present
Yeah.
myself
Does
like
that
I'm.
make you, knowing that or experiencing that, does that make you feel like you have to change who you are to be able to get that type of um response that you're looking for, or that check-in, or
Yeah, so
yeah.
truthfully, like in the past, no. More recently, I've thought of the idea of it, of like, well, what if I did, right? Like, and then it would open the eyes, like, and just to say, like, example, not for me, just going to like say social media, right? People are like very quiet when it comes to like certain posts, but then when there's something negative, like if I was to go on Facebook right now or whatever platform and be like, yo, I give up. I
Mm,
give up. All of a sudden, people are pouring in,
mm,
and it's like, oh, okay. Well, you're at your question of like, do I feel like I need to change? Like, if in the moment, and one, I would never do that, by the way, but in the moment, if I'm really going through it and I am um craving that love and that attention and I want it, and I know if I respond this way or if I outreach in that kind of, platform, I'm gonna get it. I understand why people are doing it. It is literally a desperate call out of like, y'all, like I need you or I need this. So, yeah,
yeah. I think I think there's a balance to that, because I think people definitely sometimes can overdo it, because maybe they're not getting the love or the attention that they want from their circle, so they overdo it on
right.
places like social media. But
No,
I think on the flip side of it, you do kind of, like, my opinion is that you would have to somewhere, whether you agree that social media would be the appropriate place, you'd have to tell at least someone that you're feeling that way, because people don't know what they don't know.
yep,
And, to your example, if you're
absolutely.
always presenting so positively, that's exactly what people are thinking, like, oh, like she must be good all the time. She must have had life figured out. Um, so because they don't know the other side, sometimes you really do, when you're feeling that low,
That is
have
such
to
a,
be able to have that strength to reach out to at least one person,
yeah,
to be like, hey, so that that person can start, you know, filling you filling your spirit with what you're looking for. Or, sometimes it could also lead to them kind of doing it, what is the word I'm trying to look for? Like filtering it down the pipeline to maybe other close people, and like not necessarily telling your business, but
right,
maybe they throw a little birdie like, hey, like, have you checked in on Jasmine recently? Like, yeah, I think just hit her up.
right.
I know she hasn't heard from you, and I know she'd love to, anything like that could also help magnify the fact that, Jasmine needs love in a certain space. And I don't need to delve into what she maybe shared personally, but I can aid in maybe other people giving her more of what she's looking for, so she can, get into a space that now you can, like, if it's healing, heal from that, or um be able to now feel like you can show love to other people again. Because in those moments, you don't necessarily want to, or can even have the capacity to show love to other people if you're that low.
No doubt. Absolutely. You just like could have dropped the mic right there because spot on. And I love the point of what you're saying. And actually, Anthony has told me, a few times, because I've shared this, right? I would literally have broken down in tears of like, I just don't get it. And he's like, not like by no means is it like you're fake. It's like, but what you were saying of like you are projecting out to the world that you are this positive person, and like that is your spirit. That is you are like that 87% of the time, but those 13%, which is a normal, a human, like, typical, you never show that. So the
Mm.
average person
It's like
is,
you're overcompensating, kind of.
yes. And where he's like, show the tears, show that you are vulnerable. Um, and that's how I know, and what you were saying too, of like, I'm not someone that shares my business. I keep it very, very close and knit. And that's another reason of why I'm like, let me get back into therapy too, right? Not that like I don't feel like I know I have outlets. I just like to keep things in here.
Mhm.
But I also know that it's not them. It's internally some things I need to work on, which is totally fine. I'm gonna keep pouring love into the world. Bear with me in the 13%, where there might be moments where I'm like quiet or whatever, but yeah. So I love that. I love that. You right though, girl.
Yeah, I'm right some of the time, you know.
Showing love,
Um,
man.
yeah, it,
It
it
looks,
can be,
feels different
it's
to everyone.
different. That
Yeah.
I was literally, we were about to
I'm on
point it.
twin. Girl, get out of my brain.
For real. Oh man. Um, yeah. So I mean, I feel like this first podcast being in isn't gonna be super long. We definitely wanted to catch you guys up on what happened to us. You
I
thought
know.
we were gone forever, but no, we're not. We have lots of work that we feel like we can definitely continue to do with this podcast, just on a different day now. So make sure you're catching us on the first and third Thursday of every month. Um, we are going to still incorporate the what's the word activity in our recorded episodes. So speaking of um the what's the word activity this month, which is definitely attainable, definitely doable. We want all of you and us too. We're going to do this too. Carve out 2 times a month or 2 times this month at least. Hopefully, we can make it all a regular thing that every month we're able to do this, but at least 2 times this month, carve out some undivided attention to a loved one. So, any loved one, it doesn't have to be you're in a relationship, any loved one. You call the shots as far as how long that is going to be, but try to do it for at least an hour. Um, 2 times this month. I already had it on my goal to, do some time extra with Layla, but you can also split it up. It doesn't have to be one loved one, it could be multiple loved ones. Spread that love as much as possible to as many people as possible. So if you have the time to do more than just 2 times this month, hit us with it. Let us know exactly how it's going. Um, and yeah, that's the what's the word activity for this month.
Love, love, love. We're here for the spreading of the love because you need it. I need it. This world needs it. Literally just stepping out, going to the grocery store, working at my little part-time gig, just communicating with other people. I'm like, wow, I just want to hug you, even though I don't like hugging strangers. But like, we need love. And, it really, as cliche as it does sound, will always sound, it starts with you. It starts with us as
Mhm.
individuals, loving on you, pouring out. I think, we can get into it in another episode, but, you have to naturally fill your cup. As you were talking about, Shanice, like it's very hard for you to love on others or love others if you don't feel that inside. Or it might come across a little banged up if you got your wires crossed. But I was about to. I'm not gonna say I love y'all, Shanice. I love you.
I love you too, girl. Um, and keeping with the theme as well as an update that we didn't mention earlier. Another one of our updates is we are planning on having special guests every time we go live.
Come on,
So we already
special.
have people in mind. So be on the lookout if we reach out to you. Um, because we think that's also very valuable just to expand on the conversations that we have. We for sure are still going to incorporate anybody that joins our lives and comments, any questions and feedback that you have on that topic. So please show up and continue to show your support because we've appreciated it so far. Um, and so we will be going live. I'm looking at a little calendar over here. On the 15th,
Come
the
on.
day after this yucky holiday,
Okay.
um, at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So we'll definitely catch you there with our guests. So if you want to find out who that is, you have to be tuned in to be able to take advantage of all the great knowledge and wisdom that we are going to get out of that conversation. Make sure you're subscribed. You already know the deal, so you don't miss out on any of our notifications.
How about this? How about this? Talking about support, love. You watching this? Go ahead and share it with 3 other folks. Let
Yeah,
them know. Pour in. We talking. We talking that stuff. We're here trying to spread that love. This, communication, how to effectively communicate, because it's key. So get
communication.
to it. I don't know why you're still looking over here at us. Just kidding. All right, y'all. Well, as always, peace in here, Grease.
Bye, y'all.